mercy from the court of Allah, a month which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has praised, a month which the beloved Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam has praised, a month which is beloved to every believer and every mu'min. But the month of Ramadan is not only a month of fasting, stopping from eating, drinking and fulfilling your carnal desires. That's not only the name of Ramadan. When Ramadan arrives and when Ramadan leaves, then there are 100 lessons which Ramadan leaves us with every year. And those are the lessons that if we take those lessons and implement it in our lives and our lifestyle, then you will see what greater people we will start becoming in the world of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not only from an Islamic point of view, even from a worldly perspective, the points and the lessons we learn from Ramadan can help us in our day-to-day lives as well. So inshallah, a few points and few lessons from Ramadan I want to keep in front of you, and I request one and all to listen very attentively inshallah, and try and make the intention that whatever we learn today, we will try and first and foremost act upon it, pass the message to others as well, and we will try and instill those lessons and teachings in our lives as well, inshallah. The first lesson which Ramadan Mubarak gives us is dedication. Lagan, in Urdu we say lagan. A dedication. See, every morning you wake up for Sahri, you wake up at that time when everyone is sleeping. You wake up, you have your meal, time is completed for Sahri, and then you go to your workplaces. What you were doing before Ramadan, the same thing you are doing in Ramadan. Right? You're going to your work, you're going to your business, you're going to school, you're going to college. It doesn't happen that when Ramadan starts, you shut down your business, or you close down the schools, or you close down the colleges. It doesn't happen. Your same day-to-day routine carries on in Ramadan as well. But the only thing that changes is that in the day you used to have your lunch, now you're not having your lunch. You used to have your brunch, you're not having the brunch. You used to have your tea, you're not having your tea. So in the morning you ate, and then you went on your daily routine. And throughout the entire day, you had that dedication that no matter whatever happens, I am going to carry on my fast. For the entire day, I'm not going to eat, I'm not going to drink. I have work, I don't have work, whatever the case is, I am going to complete my fast for the entire day. And when the time of iftar arrives 5-10 minutes before iftar, at that time, what is our situation? Tongues are dry, throat is dry, mouth is dry, we're hungry, we're thirsty. And everything is in front of us at that moment, but we don't eat it at that time. Why? Because we know that there is a certain time where we have to break our fast. 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, even 1 minute before the time, we won't break the fast. How does everyone feel? How does everyone feel at that time? MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah, Subhanallah. The amount of happiness you receive at that time is something else. This is one of the lessons which Ramadan gives us. What does this mean? That in life, you have many difficulties. In life, you have, my marhum father, may Allah grant him Jannah, he used to say, in life we have speed humps. Nothing goes smooth. Sometimes your life is going smooth, all of a sudden it will take a turn. Something which wasn't supposed to happen, you didn't expect happens. Sometimes you have ups and downs, this problem, that problem, financial problems, relation problems, whatever the problems is, nothing is straight. But Islam demands that no matter whatever happens, your job is you must have dedication. You must carry on. Don't lose himmat, don't lose courage. Carry on as you started your fast in the early parts of the morning, and the entire day, whether it was hot, it was cold, you were hungry, you were thirsty, you carried on the fast. In life also, when there is difficulties, when there is problems, you carry on. You don't run away. And at the end, what happens? You broke your fast, you opened, you made iftar. As soon as you ate that kajur, you forgot all the difficulties in the day. All the hungry, all the thirst, all the hunger, the thirst, the dryness, everything, you forgot about it. because now you enjoy the bounties of Allah. Islam says that is how the test of Allah Ta'ala is. In life there are difficulties, but at the end of the tunnel, when there is light, when you receive the bounties from Allah, when your difficulties are removed, when your problems are removed, at that time you will feel that, subhanallah, all the difficulties which I went through, they were nothing, because the dedication was there. You had a mindset that I will cross everything, inshallah, and eventually at the end Allah Ta'ala will open my ways for me. So the first lesson, one of the lessons which Ramadan gives us is, subhanallah, a mu'min, a believer, never ever loses courage, never ever loses hope, never ever loses himmah. No matter whatever the situation is and whatever happens. One of the reasons why people commit suicide and they end their life, that's not what Islam says. Allah Ta'ala says, La yukallifu Allahu nafsan illa wus'aha. Allah Ta'ala does not put a burden upon a person more than he can handle. Allah Ta'ala knows how much you can handle, and that is how much He will put on you. It's a different matter, you feel that you can't handle it, but Allah Ta'ala knows you can handle it. If you have sabr, if you have patience, if you carry on, then as at the time of iftar, when you open your roza and everything felt beautiful for you, likewise at the end of your difficulties, when all the problems will be removed, everything will become beautiful to you. Second lesson which Ramadan gives us, and one of the most important lessons, and this is actually the purpose and the reason of the fasting in the month of Ramadan. Allah Ta'ala says that fast has been made fard upon you for what reason? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you may attain piety, you may attain the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how does that happen? Again, take the example of fasting. It's mid-afternoon, it's very hot outside, and you have a glass of water in front of you. But you will never drink that water. Whether there are people around you or there is no one around you, you are alone in a dark room behind closed doors, you will not drink that glass of water. Why? Because in your heart and your mind you have that feeling that no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching me. Allah Ta'ala knows that if I drink this water, He knows that I broke my fast. He knows that I have not completed the fast. People don't know. People are aware. But my Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is watching me at every moment. This is one of the lessons which Ramadan gives us, that a person should have the sense and this feeling in his heart and mind that Allah Ta'ala is watching me at every moment in my life. That is why when Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam came to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and this hadith is known as Hadith of Jibreel, very beautiful hadith. When Jibreel alayhi salam came in the form of a human being and he asked Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam a few questions. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam answered all those questions. And one of the questions was, Ya Rasulullah, mal ihsan? What is ihsan? And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Oh Jibreel, ihsan is an ta'bud Allah ka'annaka tarahu. That you must worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as if you are seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is how you must worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You perform ibadat, you are performing salah, your salah must be in such a state as if you are seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are giving zakat, it must be in such a state as if you are present in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever ibadat you do, it must be as if you are seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because when that feeling comes in your heart, then your ruku will be perfect, your sajda will be perfect, your qaida will be perfect, your qiyam will be perfect, your zakat will be perfect, every ibadat will be perfect. And then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned, he said, فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ, and if Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam knows that not everyone in the ummah can reach that level, that you worship Allah in such a way as if you can, that you can see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ, if you cannot reach that level, that you perform ibadat in such a state that it is as if you are seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you must know, فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ, definitely He is watching you, He is seeing you. So it doesn't matter whether you perform salah, but you can't bring that level that you are seeing Allah ta'ala. This much you must know, that He is watching you every moment and every step in your life. In other words, when you stand in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you say Allahu Akbar, your mind is thinking about your business, your mind is thinking about your home, your mind is thinking about your parents, about your siblings. At that time, you must know Allah Ta'ala is watching you and He knows what is in your mind. When you are going in ruku and your ruku is not perfect, you must know Allah Ta'ala is watching me at that time. When you go in sajda and your sajda is not perfect, you must know Allah Ta'ala is watching me at that time. As when you were fasting, you didn't eat, you didn't drink, because you had that feeling that Allah is watching me. Likewise, every moment in your life, you must have the feeling that Allah is watching me. What does that mean? That means before you speak a lie, you must know Allah is watching me. If I speak a lie, what face am I going to show in the court of Allah Ta'ala? Before I watch a movie, you must know Allah is watching me. If I watch this movie, what face am I going to show in the court of Allah Ta'ala? Before I listen to songs, I'm watching me. He is hearing everything. If I listen to these songs, what face am I going to show in the court of Allah Ta'ala? I can hit a Muslim brother, nobody will know. I can oppress him, but Allah is the one who is watching me. What am I going to answer in the court of Allah Ta'ala? When the moment a person instills this quality in his heart, then that is the foundation of reaching the court of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. You must attain piety in this heart. So the lesson which Ramadan gives us is that jab koi bhi nahi dekh raha hai to wahan khuda dekh raha hai. Allah Ta'ala is definitely watching us in every moment. Is just because of this thinking that Allah Ta'ala is watching me. And out of Ramadan, what is stopping you from stopping what is like this? Out of Ramadan, what is stopping you from the obedience of Allah Ta'ala? Out of Ramadan, what is stopping you from not Allah who is watching you in Ramadan, He is watching you out of Ramadan as well. That Allah who knows what you're doing in Ramadan, He knows what you are doing out of Ramadan as well. So this is the second lesson which Ramadan gives us. Thirdly, Subhanallah, Ramadan gives us the beautiful lesson of sabr and shukr. Thanking Allah Ta'ala and having patience in the court of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. When you do not eat the entire day, you do not drink the entire day, what do you have at that time? It's sabr, it is patience. Because you know eventually there will come a time where you are going to eat, you are going to drink, but you do not eat this whole time, you have patience. And at the same time, it's a time of shukr. Why? When you are feeling hungry and you are feeling thirsty, and Islam says at that time you must think about those million people in the globe, those million people across the world who do not have food to eat, who do not have water to drink. You do not eat for 1 month and you start shivering, you start shaking, you start complaining. There are people who do not eat for the entire year, they don't have food. They eat today, they don't know if they're going to eat tomorrow. They drink today, they do not know if they're going to drink water tomorrow. They have something for breakfast, they do not know if they're going to have something for supper. They eat something at night, they don't know whether they're going to eat the next morning. So Ramadan gives you this lesson that when you are feeling that hunger, that thirst, your duty is to think about all those people in the world who do not have the privileges which you have. And at that time what you must do is you must say Alhamdulillah and thank Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for the bounties. See our problem now, with majority of us, हम लोग शिकायत बहुत करते हैं. We complain a lot. So every small thing, the first thing which comes on our tongue now is to complain. For 5 years you can go, you can have the best life. And one day something bad will happen to you now. You see how many complaints will start coming from your tongue. Sayyidah Rabia Basriya, radiallahu ta'ala, a great waliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She once saw a person with a bandage on his head. So she asked, why you tied this bandage? He said, today my head is paining. Very severe headache, that's why I tied this bandage. Sayyidah Rabia, waliya of Allah, and the people of Allah, they think in different ways. She said, tell me something. Before this, for how long your head didn't pain? He said, oh, it's been a year, nothing happened. She said, in that 1 year, did you ever walk in the streets and shout out loud and tell people that today nothing is wrong with me, I am perfectly fine? He said, no. She said, for 1 year you enjoyed the bounty of Allah, nothing was wrong with you, and you didn't tell people. Today, one day Allah Ta'ala tests you, and you want to publicize it and tell everyone that you are going through a difficulty. So these are the people of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And this is a thing which we need to look at. For every small thing, if you're going to complain, every small thing we're going to, हम जुबान पे शिकवा लाते हैं, शिकायत लाते हैं, we cannot thank Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, then ask ourselves, what are we doing of this Ramadan? Ramadan was here to give you that feeling that you must have sabr, you must thank Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala, if He gave you something for sehri, He will give you something for iftar. There are millions out there who do not have sehri and iftar. Allah Ta'ala tested you for 1 day. You must be hungry and thirsty only from the time of sehri to the time of iftar. There are millions out there who do not eat anything for 1, 2, 3 days even. But they do not complain in the court of Allah. They are still thanking Allah Ta'ala. They still having shukr in the court of Allah. So ask yourself the question, who is better? Are you better or are they better in the court of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala? So the third and fourth lesson which Ramadan gives us is to have sabr and shukr in the court of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And last lesson I want to give you before I leave. The lesson which Ramadan gives us is time management. Very important. Time management is something which you're going to use in your worldly life and you're going to use in your dini life as well. And Ramadan, how everything comes in time. Sari is at a certain time. Whether you woke up or you didn't wake up, Sari is going to finish at that time. If 5 o'clock Sari is finishing, Sari will finish at 5 o'clock. If you woke up at 5 to 5, on that day Sari is not going to finish at 5:15, it will still finish at 5. Job is to change yourself and mold yourself according to time. Time is not going to change itself accordingly. If you're running late, iftar is not going to increase by 10 or 5 minutes. That is the time of iftar. Your job is to change your routine and manage it according to the time in Ramadan. Tarawih's time is the same time, after Isha Salah. If you are running late today, you had a function, you had to go somewhere, the time is not going to change. Ramadan says that no matter whatever the case is, your job is to be here. Whether you are here, you are not here, Tarawih is still going to take place on its time. So the message which Ramadan is giving you is time management is very, very, very important. And this is something which you will need in your day-to-day life as well. For those youngsters who go to school, the school gates close at 7:45 and you reach school at 7:50, what happens? What happens? Answer me, what happens? The gates are locked, huh? You have to go to the office, you have to go to the principal's room, you have to go via the back gate, and then maybe you'll get detention for the day, your parents will come, whatever the case is, but the time is there. That once the gate is closed, you have to be there before that time. So Ramadan is giving you a sense of time management, and this time management you're going to use in your day-to-day life, whether you're going to school, whether you're going to college, whether you have businesses, whether you're going to work, whatever the case is, you must always make sure to manage your time. This is a very beautiful method. You know, in the morning when you wake up, you must plan your day. Something very beautiful. The ulama kiram, awliya Islam, they were the people of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And they were such that they didn't have any plans for the entire life. Those are the people of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. But we as people who are working, people who have things, yes, there is no guarantee of anything. But our duty is we must have a plan for the entire day. Wake up every morning and plan your day. Today I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. This time to this time I'll do this. And then you will see how much barakat Allah Ta'ala will put in your time. Because you have planned everything. Those people who wake up late, 11, 12, 1 o'clock. Yeah, some people don't go to work, or there's holidays, whatever, they wake up 12, 1. And you see them, time of Asr, the day flew today. The day didn't fly. The problem was with you woke up late today. Same people who woke up 5 o'clock in the morning, they had the same 24 hours. You also had 24 hours. You wasted 6 hours of those 24 hours. Then you say the day flew. The day didn't fly. You didn't have the time management. So a beautiful lesson which Ramadan teaches us, and we can't go in detail because time is not permitting me, but time management is very important in everything in our life. Whatever you are doing, you must make sure that time management is there, and then you will see how Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will open the ways of the unseen for you. And the last thing which Ramadan teaches us is that every person has the ability. Every person has the ability. See, in this month, Shaitan is closed. Shaitan is locked up. Shaitan bandi. So the blame cannot be put on Shaitan. And this month, everyone has the power. And this month, people don't watch movies. Otherwise, Ramadan tells you you have the power to control yourself. In this month, people don't listen to songs. Ramadan tells you, taqat hai tumhari andar, you have the power to control yourself. In this month, people don't swear. Why? Ramadan tells you you have the power to control yourself. In this month, people don't do wrong things. Why? Ramadan tells you you have the power to control yourself. So if you have the power to control yourself, control your nafs, control your desires, control your thoughts, control your tongue, control your eyes in Ramadan, then by Allah, you have the power out of Ramadan as well. Everything is not shaitan. Our problem is that to save ourselves, we put the blame on shaitan. Shaitan is overpowering us. Everything, yes, shaitan is your open enemy. The Quran has said that we do not deny that. But you have the power to control yourself. You have the power to overpower shaitan. Every believer, every mu'min, every Muslim, every follower of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has the power to overcome shaitan and to overpower his nafs. That's a different thing that you surrender and you say, nahi kar sakta. That's a different matter. But you have the power within yourself, and every person has the power. The only thing you have to do is to build that courage and that himmat to fight against shaitan. Then you will see the help will come from the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The awliya Allah stayed in the same world where we are staying. They had the same luxuries which we had, but they fought against their nafs and shaitan, and we are not able to do that. Why? The question is why? They were in the same world. They had the same things around us, around them which we have around ourselves, but they control themselves. We are not able to control ourselves. Ramadan is here to teach you that you have the power to control yourself. If you don't control, that is your weakness. But inside you, every moment has that fire to fight against shaitan and to fight against the enemies of Allah. अपने मन में डूब कर पाचा सुराग जिंदगी तू अगर मेरा नहीं बनता ना बन अपना तो बन. Every person must be loyal to yourself. At least be loyal to yourself. At least know what you are doing. Every person knows how deep you are in the ocean, how deep you are going, and what wrongs you are doing, what evil you are doing. Ramadan is here to show yourself what evil you were doing, what evil you are doing. And even after seeing everything, if a person doesn't turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah ta'ala is his hafiz, Allah ta'ala is his protector. So, 4 weeks ago, I told you, not before Ramadan, that 4 weeks later I will be standing here and telling you the time of Eid Salah, if I am alive. And those 4 weeks have passed. Those 4 weeks have passed. But the question I want everyone to ask ourselves, that before Ramadan, when I was standing here and I asked you that you only have these 4 weeks to rectify yourself, at that time the intentions you made, at that time the person you were, at that time the qualities you had, if those same things are with you today, unfortunately, it's very sad to tell you and inform you that you have wasted the month of Ramadan. But if there are some changes in you, there are some good qualities in you, there have been some positive things in you, then mubarak to you, you have valued this month of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make dua, may respect and the honor of Ramadan. People are going to go back to everything which they used to do. My request to one and all is, this Ramadan and every Ramadan is here to change you. Take some lesson away from this Ramadan and try to be better people. Try to be good people. Try to be better for your own self. Live on your own self. I just told you ना अपने मन में डूब कर पाजा सुराग जिंदगी. मेरा नहीं बनता ना बन अपना तो बन. Be loyal to yourself. The moment a person becomes loyal to himself, then a person inshallah goes towards the court of Allah Ta'ala. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Man arafa nafsahu